Hey guys, in today's tutorial we're going to be talking about packaging for Android. And the first thing we're going to want to do, if you are in any lower engine versions, lower than 4.27, then you're going to want to open up and make a copy of your game so that you can package it from 427 or later. And the reason for that is because that the technology is constantly changing, and each one of these versions, packaging for mobile actually got better. So if you just launch 427, and we'll give that a minute. Once 427 is opened, click this More button and scroll down and find your game. This is the one we're going to use. Click Open Project. And it says this project was made with a different version of the Unreal Engine. You want to open a copy. It's going to automatically copy your game into a new folder that has your game name 4.27. Once you're in 427, go back to your other version if you have one and close that. That way you don't get these two confused. Open your Blueprints folder, Player, BP Player. Scroll down on the left bank to the variables. Open that global folder and then click on the mobile game variable. All you do is set that to true. This enables all mobile controls. It also disables keyboard and gamepad controls. So not very many, you're not going to really be able to control your game a lot if you try to play test it in this mode. You go over, open up your project settings, and scroll down to Android. And configure these for the Android platform. All you have to do is configure, hit the Configure Now button. You may have to accept the SDK license here. Come down here where it says Orientation, Sensor Landscape, and switch that to just Landscape. You don't want to use Sensor in these games because it can cause some weird problems. On your Android Play Store, if you actually want to post this on the Google Play Store, then your minimum SDK, your minimum API has to be at least 30. They will not allow you to do anything. This is set at SDK version 28. You'll have to set that to 30. Down here, package game inside APK, set that to true. See, app bundles, you want to generate an app bundle because that's the only way that Google Play will accept games now, is with an app bundle. Most of this you can just leave. Advanced APK, I don't think we need any of this. And then you're ready. I'm not going to go into how to install Android Studio. That's way beyond the scope of this. But if you install Android Studio, just make sure that the SDK API level 30 is installed and updated completely. For those of you that only want to make this kind of game where you hold the game down in landscape mode, hold your phone down sideways, then that's all you need. Go ahead and hit Save All. And then you can just File, Package Android. And I usually package Android Multi because most people don't know what they have. And I don't know what they have. So it's easier just to make a multi-file if you're going to put it somewhere like on itch. This is only really mostly to do with the if you wanted to like have separate files on something on some third-party website that's not Google. For the app bundle, you're going to want to select Android Multi. And then I usually just drop it on the desktop. That's pretty much all you have to do. I'm not going to go ahead and package it because that takes too long and I have to go into the second part. Okay, for those of you that want to have a portrait top-down only game, like most of the games that are on Google Play, things are going to get a little more deep than that. First of all, if you go into your UI, into menus, and your main menu, this is not going to fit on the screen. If you go up here to screen size, phones, you can select, I'm just going to select the S10. And then switch it to portrait mode. You see this outline is what your phone is going to show. And this is what we're showing now. So that's not anywhere near what we were looking for. So you're going to have to scale your image for your menu background to start with. I'm going to scale it a little bigger so that way it doesn't just look weird. And I lose half my stuff that way. If you click on this, you can actually just make the text smaller over here to font. We'll make it a little shorter, that way it all fits on the screen. But depending on whatever your name is, you'll just have to size it to whatever you need. Alright, we can save that. You're mostly going to have to do that for all of your menus. Your pause menu, this thing in that mode, as you see, it's all over the place. I don't know why. Has that not got a anchor in it? Oh no, it's just centered. I don't know why this all worked out this way. I don't know what caused it to move all around like that. We're going to move it. Let's see. We have to. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. This stuff no longer fits in here. So you're going to have to make it fit. I guess that doesn't look too bad. Anyway, you're going to have to do that for all your menus and your HUD to make sure that they all fit. Let's see what the HUD looks like. Actually, the HUD fits in there kind of just fine. But your score is right there in the middle. So it's going to be right over the top of your top score here. We'll move the top score over just a little bit. Actually, we can probably move it more than that. So it's not quite so bad. Let's go and save all of that. Let's close all these menus. Okay, on your BP player. Actually, let's do this first. Here in your play, when you go to play the game, we're going to have to set it so that it shows the right screen ratio. This has a viewport resolution here. We're going to, let's go ahead and select that S10. We know these are going to be sideways though, so we'll just reverse them. 608 by 1280. Close out. Oh, also in your project settings, go down to Android and make sure instead of landscape that you select portrait, just portrait. Now on your BP player, we're going to have to change the camera because right now it's sideways perspective. Now what were those? Let's go back to that. Actually, I'm just going to set it to 1920 by 1080, but backwards. So we're going to say 1080 by X 1920 and then hit the tab. You see that comes up to an aspect ratio of 0.5625. Save that. It's going to cause some problems. Some of our some of these splines are going to be in the wrong place. Not mostly the ones that they travel on, but the ones, these sweeping splines that they go and just go back and forth on, these guys are going to be in the wrong, they're going to be too long. It's going to cause it to swing way off the screen. Go back to camera. Your spring arm, your camera is going to be way too far away, and your little ships are going to be tiny, so we have to shorten your spring arm. We'll change that to about 450. File and save. Now, let's open up our maps and play level. Alright, we got these play levels kind of all moved around right now. Let's see which one we've got here. Let's select this as a 1. Now in this mode, we're not going to be playing any side scrolls. It's going to be top down only. But you're also going to want to make sure that your enemy movers are top down. Make absolutely sure. Yes, they are the top down. Okay, we can leave that there. These tile maps, they're not going to fit. The tile maps we're going to need, none of the tile maps are really actually going to fit perfectly because of the way that we lowered that spring arm. You'll just have to experiment around to figure out exactly what size that you need. Now if we hit play, see now we're coming out to, this is the way it will actually look on the phone. Shift F1, swing it out and bring that up just a little bit. I want to see the rest of it. Yeah, you can see the entire, this will be the entire phone screen. And this, since we've selected the export, hit escape. We know that, hang on, that UI looks okay. That's going to work just fine. Let's go back to the player and we'll take off mobile game just temporarily, just so we can see how well this works. One of the things, this doesn't matter, these keyboards being able to swing it off the screen, because when they start using touch on this, they're not going to be able to touch any further than the edge of the screen there. Turn that back on. Now, as far as the tile maps go, the actual tile map size to the side scroll is going to be really close. Let's just drop one of those in there, one of the side scroll tile maps, and just see what it looks like. We'll get the one with the steel so we can see the tops and the bottoms, so we'll know how close it is. All right. Now hit play. See, that is pretty close. It looks kind of weird the way it's all squeezed down. But as you can see, it doesn't overhang it a lot. These edges right here that are black, you can mess with the screen sizes just a little bit if it's showing that on your screen. But the thing is, most of the screens that have these beveled edges on them now, the touch doesn't work all the way that far over on the edge. And you can't see anything with that bent part anyway. So it's up to you whether you want to change that or not. And I think that pretty much covers it all. Yeah, anyway, you want to go ahead and play through all your levels just to make sure of what they look like. Like this one, especially if you've added a lot more movements to it, just add more splines. As you can see, when they come to the sweep here, they are actually stopping way up here, and they should be back here. They're also swinging way off the screen there. So let's take a look at that. Let's go to top, lit. The splines that it uses to move back and forth are right here. They're called straight sweep. The TD1 and TD2 are the ones that were set up for top down. We know that when the ships, let's see how far they go to the edge here. That way we can look at the top down loops. All right. So we should know, we should be able to take that right to the edge, right into here. So you go out here and you select these. Let's just drag them up to where they're pretty close to the edge of that. To the edge of this sweep here. The wider ones are the top down sweep too. Just so you know. We'll go to this one. Drag it in. This one looks backwards, but it points backwards just because it's flipped all the way around. That way one sweeps this way and then the other one sweeps this way. It was just to make it look more interesting. What do we got sticking way out here? Now these splines. That's the curve end sticking out there. Doesn't really matter. Alright, then you can select both of these. And now that we're on top down mode, we know we're going to be Control Z. Hang on. There we go. Straight sweep 1, straight sweep 2. We should be right in there, I think, on our screen size. Let's see what that looks like. Might have went too far back still. No, it needs to go back just a little bit more. You just want to make sure that people don't have enough a way to, because especially mobile, the controls aren't that great. And so they can just touch back here and have the ship just riding behind. Because it'll just float right through them. So move that a little bit further back. Say about right there. But that's a good thing about using these splines and the movers, because we only have to move these. We don't have to mess with every single ship. And that looks great. Also, you want to make sure that none of these levels still have side scroll selected because it's going to come out looking terrible. Most of them will actually work. Since the side scrolls were the ones that were smaller and the top downs were already bigger anyway, most of the levels are going to look okay. Even if they were side scroll before, if you turn them off a side scroll or top down, they're going to look okay after we've changed all these screen sizes. They're just not going to be perfect. It might need a little bit of just a nudge, a smidgen of a change. No side scrolls. I want to make sure that there are no side scroll levels. Yeah. All right, and the final thing, save all that. You're going to go back to maps because we're going to have to change the cameras in our level sequences because they look like this. I put two different cameras in here because I wanted to, in later tutorials, I wanted to teach people the difference between where are they? Oh, between camera actors and cine cameras. So if you go down here to this camera setting, just has a regular setting like what we were just dealing with. So we can just 1080 x 1920 and tab that. And now that camera, as you can see on the side here, that camera actor is actually in the right ratio now. The other one, the cine camera actor, you're going to have to go into blueprints, theatrical, and open up this level sequence called mini ships. If it opens like way out here or in its own window or whatever, here, if it opens up like this, you can just minimize it and take it, and you can stick it anywhere you want to. I usually stick it on this bar down here just because it's an easy way to keep up with it. Now if you go down here to the cine camera actor, it's right here. And you have to go down to, it's got a width and a height for the camera sensor. You can see it's 36 millimeters. Where was that at? 36 millimeters by 20.25 millimeters. So what we're going to do is we're going to make that opposite, 20.25 millimeters. What was it? 36 millimeters. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Short memory. All right, 20.25. 36.0 millimeters. All right, now the cine camera actor and the regular camera actor are both set. All right, let's give it a quick playthrough. We're not going to have any controls, but the way that I have this set up, you don't have to even control anything while you're testing your game. Later on, you'd want to like raise the damage on the enemy bullets and things like that to get it to actually do damage. Oh, wait a minute, we're in the level sequence. Alright, go back to maps. Let's open the menu level. We'll kind of roll through everything, see what everything looks like. Alright, settings, back to main, start. and we just get to watch what happens. Alright guys, that pretty much covers it. If you have any more questions, just shoot them to me. I'll try to answer what I can. But like I said, I'm no pro when it comes to Android development. But I'll do what I can. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to get the future videos. We're going to be doing a lot of deep dives, especially one coming this weekend. We're going to actually be editing the code so that you can go and have like a separate world, pre-built worlds for your game levels. So I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.